to Dave's shop. I'm Dave, and it is Tuesday morning, January the 20th, and we are going live. So, depending on what part of the country you live in, weather could be really, really bad today. Rock and roll. Good morning, Spicy Tuna, Bob Grasham, Isaac, Gemini, Cito, Chris Greenwood, Juan, how you doing? Luis, good morning, everybody. Bucky69, Chris just joined. User 486, yeah. Hey, everybody. No need to swipe by, roll down the window, stop, and have a cup of coffee with me this morning here on Tuesday. Today is, hey, Nicole, good morning. How are you doing? We're back. The MLK Day, I hope everybody, if you were off, enjoyed your extra day off, your 3-day weekend. Troy, how you doing? Good morning. Everybody who's joined, if it's your first time here, make sure you let me know where you're from. If you've been here before, put a little thumbs up in the comment section. Good morning, Kim. How you doing? Yeah. Fixing to talk about the weather and the forecast for the state of Texas. Looks like we're fixing to get a little bit of winter. Don't know how bad it might be, but I can tell you last night I didn't get to talk to Casey, and Casey's one of our, if you've heard us talk about Casey, he is our over-the-road driver, and let me tell you, he was in Fargo, North Dakota last night at a truck stop, stuck. And I mean, it looked like he was in a blizzard. It was bad. How long he had been there, I don't know. I didn't get to talk to him before he went offline, but I did send him a message. So everybody who knows who I'm talking about, Casey, you got to figure this guy lives in down around Beaumont, so he's not used to that blizzard type conditions in Fargo, North Dakota, like the weather is there. So send him some prayers for safe travels. I don't know how long he's going to be there. Like I said, I didn't get to talk to him. I just saw that he had at the end of his live, and he usually goes live because that's when he and his wife talk in the mornings. And so, yeah. Jovette, Antonio, Ed, good morning. So I know the East Coast is getting some snow and cold weather too. Hey, Antonio. Well, we're just, getting the week started. Monday was kind of slow. Some people had a 3-day weekend. Some people didn't. I did go live yesterday. I didn't even think about it yesterday being a holiday until I was walking out here and realized, it's a holiday. So we had a few people join yesterday. Some did, some didn't, and that was totally fine. But today, the national, yeah, I stayed up late last night watching the college football national championship, and I can say, knocking boots, thanks for the follow. I appreciate you. I can say that Indiana won, but I want to tell you, that game was a dogfight. Miami's real. They played a heck of a good game, and I mean, it went down to Indiana up 3, fourth quarter, minute 30 left. Miami gets the ball back, and they're driving. And gets down to like 22 seconds left in the game. And, They threw an interception. Indiana gets it, downs the ball on about the, I don't know, 7 or 8 yard line, and game over. They had to do a couple of snaps just to let their clock run out. But yeah, it was over. And Indiana walks away. And I want to tell you that a lot of people, if you don't follow football, if you know how difficult it is, one, just to go undefeated in your division, but to go undefeated in your division and during all the playoffs is nearly unheard of. And this is the first national championship that University of Indiana has ever won. But well-deserved, great group of guys, and you could tell they were really excited. I actually even got to see the coach be a little excited too. So yeah. Yeah, and that's the whole story of behind Indiana. Indiana didn't have a bunch of five-star, super high-rated players. They just had a bunch of guys that came together and played very well together this year. What was it? Was rooting for Miami, but sure was. Okay. Yeah, some people were rooting for Miami, and I want to tell you, they came out of the dark, really. If you think about Miami, I mean, they got nothing to hang their heads about. They had a heck of a good season. Like I said, Indiana just didn't have a bunch of star players, and like a lot of these other teams did, but they were able to put it together and win some games. Miami at the first of the season, they weren't ranked, and they came up and beat a lot of good teams to get into that national championship game, and they definitely showed that they deserved to be there, because that was a dogfight from the word go. And so yeah. I'm sure the Miami players at the end of the game, there's always winners and losers. And even though they lost the game, I don't think Miami's guys got anything to hang their heads about. They went out there and played their guts out. So hats off to them too. Sorry, I got somebody over here on YouTube asking a question. Do you like Southern biscuits with... I do. I absolutely do like biscuits and sausage gravy. Yep. Matter of fact, usually when you're working, you don't have time to do little things like, cooking biscuits. I like to cook, and so I've been gathering different recipes for biscuits because I like to have breakfast for supper sometimes. And thank you, JW. I appreciate that. I'm guessing, I hope it's JW. I hope I have that right. Your little icon is kind of hard to read for me. So am I right? Is it JW? George, good morning. You got it. Okay, so it's JW. Good. Well, JW, I like having you here when I do my lives in the morning, and everyone else too, because, without all you guys, I wouldn't be sitting here every morning getting up. I've had several people ask me that, are you still getting up and doing your lives early in the morning? And I'm like, absolutely. So yeah, I'm on a mission. I want to build a community. I want it, I'd like at some point You know, maybe somebody, a sponsor, recognized that we have a regular show. Great group of people who join and participate and engage, and they see some value in that, and you know, maybe they sponsor the show. I can tell you, I don't know. Let me ask you just a real quick question. Let me see here. I'm sorry, I'm just reading some stuff on YouTube here. Yeah. So Jay, thanks for asking that question. I thought maybe you were like gonna send me a recipe or something. I know how to make gravy. I'm still perfecting how to make good biscuits. But I've got 2 or 3 recipes that I've seen them make them on YouTube and on TikTok. And so, matter of fact, I have the ingredients, and I am going to attempt to see if I can make biscuits. I've made them before, but I like them fluffy. And the one thing I've seen is, and I've never tried, is actually baking them in a cast iron skillet. And I have one. It was my wife's grandmother's cast iron skillet, the only one we have. And so that's going to be what I'm going to try them in. So, you know, maybe I'll videotape it and y'all can laugh at me, you know, while I'm making the biscuits, and then we'll all see how they come out. Thanks, JW, for the follow. I appreciate that. Like I tell everybody, if you're new here on TikTok or YouTube, make sure you like, share, and follow. It really helps. And it's free. It doesn't cost anything to do any of that. If you want to join the fan club list on TikTok, send me one of those little heart me emojis, and it adds you to the fan list. I can tell you, I was approached yesterday. Well, I mean, it was in an email, and that was the question I was leading up to. No quote of the day. Well, you know, I did a couple of things yesterday late. You know, I've been getting a lot of phone calls and emails from the guys I worked with, and there's a lot of them that are struggling. They maybe weren't with the company but 2 or 3 years, and most of them are the main breadwinners. They're not, you know, they've had a few interviews, but nobody's actually hiring yet. And you know, their severance pays run out, and they're really worried. And so, you know, I yesterday I posted on LinkedIn, because that's where a lot of them are hanging out, you know, looking for jobs and stuff. And I posted a series. I started a series. It's called Job Hunting, Funny But True. And it's just basically funny things that, you know, you have to deal with when you're job hunting. And so, and I posted those mainly because, you know, sometimes if you've ever been in that situation where you're the one looking for the job, I mean, you might have to, you know, everybody wants something different. You know, you submit your resume and then they want you to totally rewrite it or do something different, or, you know, you spend hours looking for a job, and looking for a job becomes a job. And so, yeah, some of them, you know, it's easy to get down on yourself, and so, you know, maybe those little short videos that I posted kind of, you know, lets them know that it's going to be okay, that they have value, their experience, and they have something unique to offer. They just have to find the right person that sees that. And, but, you know, the technology field right now is kind of tough. There are jobs out there. There's not a lot of jobs. These guys, some of them have a lot of years of experience, and the jobs that are out there, they're just not, they either want somebody really, really high end with, you know, a 4-year degree, and you have to be able to do everything from A to Z, which is just not realistic, and it's not really how it's done in technology. You know, it's really kind of compartmentalized what you do. Even if you know some, as an example, if you're support, it would be, you know, you might be imaging computers and dealing with the frontline people and making sure that they can do their daily task and work and you know, fix a printer, you know, that type of stuff. And then you have other people that they're only working on servers, and they could be working on servers all over the United States, depending on where they're located. So that happens too. And then, you know, then you have programmers, and then you have software engineers. So it's a lot of times when you're reading these descriptions, it's like they want you to be everything from right as the person walks in the door all the way down to keeping a multi-billion-dollar company's computers all up and running, and servers, and now AI, and all the networking. I mean, so there's a lot of stuff to technology, and so some of these requirements that they put on job applicants are really unrealistic, and I think they know that too. So, but the bad thing is when you're reading it, you're like, well, I'm not really qualified for that, but you really don't know, because you don't know what part of that they really want you to do day to day. So anyway, if I can, you know, send them a little short video daily and it keeps their morale up, well, then I definitely want to do that. And so I did get a few people respond back that put a smile on their face for the end of the day. But yeah, so that's good. So I have done that a little bit. Let's see, what else? I was looking at the forecast for Texas. You know, they're saying that, so I don't know, depending on where you live in the country, when there's bad weather here in Texas, because we get so few bouts of it throughout the year, as far as like cold, either sleet, ice, or some snow, or a mixture of precipitation like that. People around here, or at least in Central and South Texas, and probably in even further north, they just go crazy. They go to the grocery stores, and you think that the apocalypse hit. I mean, they just wipe the shelves out. And you know, part of it, I think, is the local media. They try to, you know, scare people like, oh my God, you know, we're not going to have any power for 5 days. Well, that's just probably not true. It has happened, but, you know, once in, you know, 100 years probably. But anyway, so yeah, so they get people all worked up, and they think they need to go, you know, rush to the grocery store. Maybe they normally buy groceries on the weekends, and instead they're, you know, rushing to the grocery store on Tuesday morning and trying to buy 3 weeks supply of whatever they think they need. And then when others go, you know, it's like, you know, no bread, no milk, no eggs, because the supermarkets, if you ever know how they work, most supermarkets get probably, depending on the volume, they probably get a delivery, a full delivery of groceries about three, maybe 4 times a week, not more than every other day. And then the ones that are really high volume, they may get a delivery of some kind every day, but it doesn't contain everything. Hang on a second, let me. Those 2 heaters behind me start to get a little warm. Anyway, so that's definitely supposedly coming, and of course the weather guys are having a field day with it, because usually it's either, hey, it's going to be really hot, or you know, it's not going to rain for the next 6 weeks. They probably get bored doing the weathercast here because it's usually not that exciting. But so anyway, supposedly Friday, Saturday, and Sunday supposed to be below freezing temperatures and precipitation, bad travel, stay off the road, everybody stay home, that kind of stuff. Our grocery store always matter the weather. So, you know, here in Texas, or at least in Central and South Texas, HEB is the #1 grocery store chain, period. There are a few Randalls, which, I mean, used to be called Tom Thumb. I don't know if Tom Thumb's still in business or not. Randall's is really a arm of Safeway. So I don't know what grocery stores are in your part of the country. I know they're different everywhere you go. Darlene, 6239, thanks. Thanks for joining. Charlie Taylor joined over here on YouTube. Thank you, thank you. Darlene, 6239, yeah. Have I heard the new song about Rita? I don't think I have. I'm gonna have to check that out. Thanks for telling me. I like Rita. Anyway, so there you go. There's the weather. College football. It's Tuesday. Like I said, if you were off for MLK Day and had a 3-day weekend, that was really fun. So let's see what else. I did work on the garage door. And I filmed some of it. I can tell you what I ran into. So somebody yesterday asked, you know, how long it took. I started the project probably around 10:30 Saturday morning, and I worked on it till 5:30 that evening. Took a lot longer than I expected. Supposedly it was this insulation kit was advertised as pre-cut panels for your garage door, but guess what? They weren't pre-cut at all, and so it was just basically one big 37-foot roll of insulation, and you had to custom cut each panel for the door. And there's, well, let's see, 16 panels. And you know, when you're cutting material like that, really what would have been nice is if I'd have had a full 4x8 sheet of plywood and could have had a big table set up to cut the material on, but I didn't. And I do have some workbenches and stuff. So I had to make do, but I had to keep going between both shops. So, of course, that takes time. I'd go cut a couple of pieces and then install them. Plus, you know, you have to clean. I didn't do any prep work. I didn't clean the area before I started. So I was cleaning as I went. But other than that, it turned out to be okay. Here, I'll just show you part of it. I'm gonna turn the TikTok camera first so you can see the garage door there, and there's that part of it. I've got I'll turn this back, and then so that everybody on YouTube can see, I'm gonna show you. So you can see those panels I put in there. So there you go. That's what insulation solar radiant barrier looks like on a metal garage door. So that part of it, I've got three panels left that I have pre-cut ready to go. I just wanted to film real quick and show you how you use the double stick tape on it. and I went ahead and used the double stick tape, even though the way I cut those pieces, I don't think you even really need the double stick tape, but I used it anyway because it's cold and cooler weather now, and I don't know what over time it would do once it got really hot if you didn't have something to kind of help hold it in place. So yeah. So JW, you're looking for snow on Saturday in North Carolina. Yeah. Not much. Mowing God cracks me up. Not much comes out of Texas other than rainbows and steers. Oh, Rainbow, excuse me, Mowing God, you are so loving. How much dollars do you have into the being a content creator? How many dollars do I have? Well, I've tried to limit it. I've probably bought, I have a boom mic for when I started going live. That probably cost, I don't know what I paid for it, under $100. I've probably got 2 or 3 webcam or phone stands, tripods that I use. Of course, a computer, 2 monitors, a speaker. Some of the stuff I had already, some I didn't. And I don't know if you would count all that stuff behind me. I would have probably done that wall with the cedar, whether I was doing lives or not. But yeah, you can spend a little bit of money. Today is the second training class for YouTube. And YouTube is kind of promoting going live on their mobile devices is kind of what this is about. And it's today's class is about having an encoder, and an encoder can either be a piece of hardware or a software. And I've seen some of those encoders go, if you're looking at the hardware, they run anywhere from a few $100s to over $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 for a piece of equipment. And really, I don't think I'll ever need one, because it's really for multi-streaming, which I already do, to the 2 platforms that I'm really concerned with is YouTube and TikTok. So I'm able to do that. But with an encoder, you can do some fancy stuff. Like, share your computer screen or make some fancy backgrounds and stuff. But I don't see any value in it for what I do. However, where you see it used a lot is people that are gamers. A couple of phones, yeah. Good morning from Montana. Hey, Adam. Priceless Woodworks. Always like woodworking. I like to see people who do woodworking. Hey, Adam, give me a follow. I'll go do the same. Check out your page. Go free. Finally, hang up my lifetime license plate collection. Dude, that's great. I think, I wished I had more license plates. I've been in places that they have license plates from all kinds of places, all over the states, and different things and stuff like that. Adam, thanks, man. Firehouse Feast just joined. Good morning. So Gail Ann over here has quickly become one of my regulars on YouTube. Thank you, Gail Ann, for returning. Rita left him. Huh. I haven't heard Rita's new song. I'll have to go check that out, though. But yeah, and that's my next project, is on the wall on the opposite side of the garage. I'm going to put cedar up. Of course, probably not all these signs like this, but I am going to do the cedar. I think long term, I like it better. I think it's less maintenance, and for probably, I'm guessing, maybe a couple $100. I can maybe 300 to do that whole side over there. But I'm going to get started on that here. It's in my line of projects to do. And I think I tried to do that showing live last time and it didn't work out real good. So this time I think what I'm going to do is just shoot it and turn it into a video and kind of just show the steps. It's not really anything difficult. Pretty much most people could definitely master that themselves. It's pretty basic. If you have a tape measure and a saw and a pencil and a stud finder, and you really don't even have to have a stud finder, but if you did have one, it makes it a little bit easier. So I'll kind of show you the steps that I go through to do that. John's Life 3533 over here on YouTube thing. Probably going to eventually move my space around. Not looking forward to heavy ass. Okay, so yeah, moving's not fun. I did talk to the AC guy about putting in what they call a mini split in the garage, and it can be done, but I need to get a sponsor because that one little deal could cost between $3,500 and $5,000 to put in a mini split AC system. But they work. I mean, I had them in my office where I used to work, and so yeah, I just am not sure I'm quite ready to lay out $5,000, but that's about what we're looking at to get that done. But you never know. So here was a question I was going to ask earlier. Like a heat pump, yeah, it does both. Yeah, you're right. It is. It's just a flat. You've seen them. They're white. They got the little flat unit. Maybe they're, I don't know. They stick out from the wall about 8 inches or so, 9 inches, and they mount up high, and then they've got a little louver that opens up. You can control them with a remote, and it's just basically you have the head, and then it's a line set that goes outside to the compressor and outside unit. But for me, this wall behind me, it's all rock and stone, so I'd have to figure out, so they would have to drill through the wall and then come down the rock work. And if you've ever seen a supply line to an air conditioner, it's kind of ugly, but they do make a kit that you can cover those lines. And being that it's an HOA, I would probably have to get that approved through the HOA before I had it installed, but I haven't ruled it out. I think that's probably the best solution. They do make those portable air conditioners that, sit on the ground. But the problem is with those, and those work, and they're definitely much less expensive. Unfortunately, they really don't work well unless you have a place to exhaust them outside. And they're really designed to, put in a window, but I don't have any windows in my garage. And I think installing a window might be more expensive than just having an air conditioner put in. So I don't know. I thought about that too, but I think the mini split's going to be the way to go long term. We'll see how that goes. So here's the question I keep meaning to ask. Javier Gonzalez, good morning. Thank you for joining. Have any of you ever heard of Super Clean? It's a degreaser, it's kind of like Simple Green. Or have any of you ever heard of that? If you have, put your little thumbs up in the comments. Yeah, they sell it at Minyards. Okay, yeah, they sell it a lot of places. Actually, they're on TikTok too, and they have 1 or 2 items on there, but the prices. I don't know all the details about selling on TikTok. If what the financial thing is for a TikTok shop, if TikTok takes a commission, and I know if they try to get somebody on TikTok to promote it, an affiliate, then they pay them a commission. So that definitely usually brings the price up. But I've done a few videos for them, directly on YouTube, and it's a good product. But they also sell it in Walmart, and the price I saw on TikTok was like way out of range, but it is a very good degreaser. And mainly where I've used it, that I've seen it beneficial, is one, in the kitchen, like, if you're cleaning your stovetop, and you have grease from cooking, well, it does a good job of cutting through that. And I'll tell you the other place and probably one of the places that I use it regularly, is on my barbecue pit. People don't think about the outside of your barbecue pit or your gas grill, getting greasy and stuff, but it does. And man, you can spray that on cold, and you don't even have to wait. You can just take a paper towel, wipe it off, and it just it cuts right through and does a real good job there. But they've reached out to me wanting to do a giveaway, and I haven't decided whether I want to do that or not. And the way that works with them, at least, is we'd have to say, hey, we're going to do a giveaway for Super Clean, and here's what it is, and if you want your name put in the hat, then I'd probably have to set up where you send me an email to my Gmail account, and then we put everybody's name in a hat. We go live and actually on camera, draw somebody's name, and then at that point, that person would be required to send me their full name, address, and a contact telephone number that I could then forward on to Super Clean so that they could ship the product directly to you. So that's how that would work. So if y'all think that that's something you want to do, let me know, and I'll get with Super Clean, with the marketing department over there, and we'll do a giveaway. So just let me know. You can let me know in the chat if that's something you think you'd like to do or not. What do we have over here, John's Live? Driller blank, firing wheels. Sorry here. I'm reading something. Mini splits are really nice for shops. Yeah. I talked to them. I talked to the AC company that does all my work, and that's definitely what they recommended too. Depending on, there's not a lot. I mean, there are a lot of off-branded manufacturers out there. There's a lot of do-it-yourself, like Mr. Cool, but when I got to looking, I didn't realize how many off-branded companies are out there that make mini splits. But the main ones that I would feel comfortable spending my money on are, there's a company called Daikin, and Mitsubishi, and I believe what I had installed at my office were Carriers. Carrier actually got in, and they make them. So I don't know who all else does, but Mitsubishi's the probably top of the line, but they're very expensive. Daikin is right underneath them, but they're more affordable. And one of the things the guy told me is you don't want to buy one that's under 18 SEER. So you want to look at the SEER rating on them. And a lot of them that I saw that I would consider, I think the SEER rating is like 22, 21, 23, something like that. So, but again, we're talking about, just the unit itself, $2,500 or so, and then depending on how much labor is required to get it installed. So you can see you could easily spend $3,500 to $5,000 depending on how far they have to run the line set, and you're limited to how far you can run the line set and be in standards too. So yeah, something for in the future. The grease gives everything flavor. I agree. I agree, but I don't know if I don't know if your wife's like my wife. When we get through cooking on the stove, when it's all said and done, it better look like it was a brand new stove and you never cooked on it. She's kind of picky when it comes to that, and I get it. Over time, grease does degrade your appliances if you don't keep them super clean, and it definitely does on your grills and barbecue pits and stuff. And so yeah, I use it a lot out there. And like I said, I've made a few videos for them. They also make a really good wheel cleaner. If you wash your own vehicles, got some nice wheels on your cars, like most of them do, alloy wheels and stuff. They've got a foam cleaner that degreaser, gets all the brake dust off. Does a really good job. So yeah, I've done a video for them on that too. Purple Power. Yeah, it comes in a purple box. Do I have some? Here I do. Hang on, let me show you. Matter of fact, yeah. Okay, so that is their wheel cleaner. That's Super Clean's wheel cleaner. And then this is just their spray cleaner degreaser. It comes out of aerosol can. And this is usually, so they make just the regular degreaser in a spray bottle, which, they've sent me samples multiple times. And then if you have this works really good. It doesn't matter. You could use the spray bottle or the aerosol can. But the aerosol can outside works pretty good for spraying it on your pit. And it's all biodegradable. I guess the thing I really like about Super Clean is they're not a huge company. But what they are is they're an American company. And they're here in the United States, and they employ people here in the United States. And so I've kind of, I like supporting, our local companies, and there's so few of them anymore. It seems like that when you get the opportunity to promote something that's put together and sold in the United States, Super Clean. So anyway, we may do a giveaway. I just need to find out all their details, but I believe you would get a couple of their items, and it might be fun. So if you think doing a giveaway would be fun, let me know send me a message, let me know. If it doesn't interest you, let me know that too. We don't have to do it, but I just thought it might be something different. Whoever the winner is would get, I like that, Tater Tate. Well, he came and went. Donna's World, good morning, thanks. Oh, Donna's got to go to work, our nurse. Hey, Donna, thanks. Have a great day. Don't work too hard. Anyway, so we can do that. We could do a giveaway. It just depends. Whatever you feel like, if you think that's a good idea. And you see me, I've been playing with this new little flashlight. I'm gonna hold it up here so you can see. Let me see if I can get it to focus. This is another one of those Woobin flashlights. This is the G5 model. This little thing weighs less than 2 ounces. It's a rechargeable flashlight. It comes with a little USB C charging cable. And look, you can take the head, you know, why you would want to do it like this, I don't know, but the head actually rotates left and right or straight. It has a little magnet on the end of it. So could be pretty handy. And like I said, it weighs less than 2 ounces, got a little clip on the back. So, you know, if your wife could clip it to a strap on her purse, or you could clip it to a strap on a backpack or something like that. Pretty handy. Puts off more light than I thought. When they said 400 lumen, I thought, well, that doesn't seem too much. But for this little size, this thing weighs 1.94 ounces, which is really lightweight. It means you could carry it in your front pocket, you could carry it in your pants pocket, but comes with this little strap. And it comes with a little metal key ring. So if you wanted to attach this to your keychain, you could do that too. Might be good. My wife has already claimed this one. She wants it to put on her key ring to keep in her purse, because inevitably, you know, it's nighttime and she needs to find something. So yeah, she's got this one. And these, I think they got them on sale right now for about 20 bucks. So I made a little short video of that. Pretty handy little thing though. I mean, it's well made too. It looks and feels heavier than 1.94 ounces, but it's only like 2.5 inches long by 1 3/4 inches wide. So it's pretty portable. And I've just kind of been playing with that. So everybody tell me what's going on. What are you doing? What do you have facing you this week? Anything at all? The grease gives it flavor. I like that, Monga. The grease does definitely give stuff flavor. So Monga at Menards. Menards is a pretty good size grocery store chain. Yeah. And you're right, those mini splits kind of remind you of hotel air conditioning, except a lot of the hotel air conditioners, now I think they've got, a lot of the newer ones have gone to, some of them have gone to that type of AC. But those mini splits you can get either way, where they only do AC and no heat, or they make them where they do both AC and heat. So I'm just catching up on some of these. So Doe-free, I got a question. How many license plates do you have? Did you serve in the military? The 4320 just joined? No, I never served in the military. I have a blood disorder, and so yeah, no. I did have to register for the draft, even though they've never instated it. Now I'm too old, so I don't know. Do they still make kids register for the military in case there is a draft anymore? No. Okay. I didn't think so. I've got a friend that's going in the Navy here 2 weeks, in a couple of weeks. I don't know. Your son had to register. Okay. All right. See, for some reason, I thought there was something about that you had to still, at least for males, that if usually your senior year when you turn 18, if you're still in school, because you know some people they're graduating at 17, so maybe they still have to register. I'm not sure, but thanks for letting me know that, Eddie. I knew that's how it was when I was in school, but I didn't know if it was like that anymore. So, let's see, what else did I have? Talked about the weather, talked about our college football game. You know, that's funny. It's like there's no holidays. I don't think we have. So the next holiday will be Valentine's Day. And guys, I know y'all all like Valentine's Day. Because you get to, get something for your wife or your special person. My son had a rooster. Yeah. It's funny. The friend of mine that's going in the Navy, I think their boot camp is in Michigan. I think that's where she told me she was going. Great Lakes, Michigan, maybe. Not sure. You don't do Valentine's. Well, it's not a huge thing for my wife and I either anymore because Great Lakes, Illinois. There you go. Thanks, Eddie. I knew it was Great Lakes. I couldn't remember if it was Michigan or Illinois. Yeah, so that's where they're going to boot camp. And she wants to have something to do with with aviation. I don't think she wants to be a pilot, but Eddie's a Navy veteran. Well, there you go. That answers that question. So Eddie, were you ever stationed in Bremerton, Washington? My nephew, you were an airplane mechanic. Okay. Well, thank you for your service. I appreciate that. Justin King just joined. Hey, Justin. Still require. I'm too old. Yeah, exactly. That's right, John. John likes Valentine's Day after it's over because they put all the candy on sale. Well, you're right. They actually have chocolates on sale. That's the one time of year you can probably get a deal. You're in Norfolk, Virginia. Okay. All right. Well, I know the Navy does some training after, I think it's 9 weeks now for boot camp down in San Antonio, but I think that's for medical staff only. So, okay, so you live in Texas now. Well, yeah. Casey joined. Hey, Casey, we were just talking about you in that, well, maybe weather's bad. I thought he was on. I'll tell you what, he was showing, he was filming, looking out his front window. There you are, Casey. Hey, Casey, are you still in North Dakota in that snowstorm? Casey's been on the road. I just saw him, but anyway, he was filming it from a truck stop out his truck's front window, and I'm telling you, you couldn't see the highway, and he was pointed towards the highway, and you couldn't see it for all the snow and blizzard conditions. Maybe he's school in Pensacola, Florida. Okay. Well, that wouldn't be a bad place to get stationed, Pensacola, Florida, I don't think. We'll see. I hope she makes it. My niece's husband was in Bremerton, Washington, and we went there a couple of times to visit them. And man, the Puget Sound, if you've never been in that part of the United States, it's really pretty. That Puget Sound, which is north of Seattle there. There's some pretty country up in there. Spent a couple of weeks up there, or 2 different times. I had a hard time getting used to the time change, but other than that, it's a nice place to visit. So you made it from North Dakota. Now you're in St. Cloud, Minnesota at the corporate office. Whiskey, brewski. uh, after it's all over. Yeah, I agree. I like fish in all 50 states. Nothing wrong with fishing. I never have really got into deep sea fishing. I went once or twice, and I was so sick from the boat ride I couldn't fish. I don't know. We were out in the Gulf, and it got pretty rough, and I wasn't the only one hanging over the rail. There were a bunch of us that were green around the gill, so I don't do well there, but I do like to go bass fishing, and I like to go crappie fishing, and even, catfishing can be fun. Not noodling. I don't think I'd want to do that, but I do like to. I like to eat catfish and crappie and bass. And if you like to fish, striper fishing's pretty fun too. All of those are freshwater fish. Freshwater fish, I don't have a problem. Boy, you get me out in the Gulf or the ocean or anything like that, I don't do well. Wow, Casey says it's 7 degrees. So Casey, did you drive through that blizzard you were in North Dakota? I'm guessing you did if you're in Minnesota now. But yeah, it was -7. Okay. Where you're at now. Wow. That's nuts. Oh yeah. Yeah. There you go. That way you have 2 for 1. That's fun. I think it's great for kids walking to the bus. It is great for the kids. So Gail Ann, my wife, worked for the school district, and she was director of transportation, and so she dealt with school buses for 40 years and kids. And a lot of people just don't realize that is a tough job, and they carry a precious cargo. So you got to be on your game every day. There's a lot of new federal regulations that are set for commercial truck drivers, but end up applying to a lot of the school bus drivers too. So schools have to follow those requirements that a lot of times cost school districts a lot of money. So yeah, but still, all in all, school buses are a very safe mode of transportation, and they got a lot of safety features on them. They've now put seat belts on them in a lot of states. So yeah, Casey, I saw the blizzard video, and I was like, holy moly! I surely wouldn't have want to been driving in that. That's for sure. And I'm guessing if you did have to drive in that blizzard type conditions, you wouldn't be going very fast. Yeah, y'all go check out Casey's video of the blizzard he was in I think it was Fargo, North Dakota. I think it was in Fargo is where he was at the time. And he was shooting video out the front windshield. Of course, he wasn't driving. He was parked along with a bunch of other trucks that were parked. They were like, we can't drive in this. So that's nuts and fun. So anyway, yeah. Craig just joined. Hey, Craig, how you doing? Fargo, North Dakota. Wow. When are you headed back to Texas, Casey? So he went from Fargo, North Dakota to now he's in Minnesota. The bad thing is, Casey, if you're headed back towards Texas, I mean, if you look across the United States weather-wise, there's lots of bad freezing snow type weather going on. So you may drive out of it and drive back into it. It was minus 27 degrees when the blizzard was happening. You don't get out of the truck when it's that cold. That's for stinking sure. Yeah. So today, I was going to tell you, today is the second meeting, like I said, with YouTube. And they're going to talk about encoders. And I'm going to join it anyway, just because I, might learn something. The first meeting, the one thing I learned that I took away from it was I learned that YouTube is really focusing on their vertical, which is like, streaming on a mobile device. They put in a couple of features in their YouTube studio if you're streaming from a PC, so that even if you're like now, we're streaming from a mobile device for YouTube. But if you watch it on something other than a mobile device, it will show you the full screen instead of vertical. So they're working on that part of it, and they're pushing out the lives that we do every day. So that's good. That's a real plus. They're going to be talking about encoders today, which I don't know that I'll learn much about it, but you never know. The one thing I did learn about YouTube, though, is if you pre-schedule your lives, in other words, and I hadn't figured out how to do more than one day in advance, but if you schedule them on their software, then they go out and put this little notification on your videos, letting people know that you're going to be going live in so many hours and minutes to kind of help push people to your live. So I thought that was a good thing. Today's Leah's birthday. Oh man, thanks for telling me. I'll have to message her. So Casey's wife's birthday is today. She is on TikTok. I don't think she's on YouTube, but she is on TikTok, and you've probably seen her. Her name's Leah. Today's her birthday. So if you're thinking about her, you see her out there on TikTok land, send her a happy birthday wish. She'll like that. I mean, it's tough. She's got to have a birthday, and her husband's on the road halfway across the country working. So just goes to show you when you're married and what you have to do to make a living. Sometimes it's not always fun, and you're not always where you want to be. So don't worry. We'll all send Leah a happy birthday wish. So she knows that we're all thinking about her, and that we know you're safe up in Winterland. And anyway, I hope you get home soon, and y'all have time to celebrate together there. I'm sure you will, Casey. Golden Voice Royce, 333. I have a question. Okay, go Golden. What's your question? Thank you for joining too, just to let you know. And if it's your first time here, let me know where you're from. Eddie's got to go. Okay. All right. Hey, Eddie, thank you for joining. I appreciate all the info and engagement. Welcome back anytime. We do this Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we go to 7:30, depending on where the conversation's going. I actually do have a meeting this morning, believe it or not. One of the guys that I worked with for 16 years, and on my last day, he wasn't able to come to the office and see everybody off. So he lives nearby, so he has to drive in a couple of hours, but he's coming in. His job is he manages all the servers in the United States, and so he's going to be in at the old office today, and called and anyway, he wanted to have a cup of coffee and a breakfast taco together and say, hey, and I really think he just needs my help moving something. But that's okay if I get breakfast and breakfast tacos, and you know, we worked together a long time, but we're also friends. So I hadn't seen him in probably 9 or 10 months. So yeah, we're gonna meet up for a cup of coffee, and I'll help him with whatever heavy lifting he needs, and then we'll have time to visit. Golden Voice, what's your question? I don't see it. Are you still with me? Gotta go. Okay. Well, Casey, I'm glad you're safe. Thanks for letting us know about Leah's birthday. So we'll definitely, you know, do the happy birthday. TikTok followers too, so I'm sure she'll get a wishing her happy birthday. I know it's not the same thing as you being there with her, but I'm sure y'all will get caught up when you're able to get back home. Everybody's kind of quiet this morning. I guess I have to remember that yesterday being a holiday, today's Tuesday, and people are usually more talkative on Tuesday than Monday, but this is probably like your Monday. So definitely get that. What is this? So anyway, I'm gonna try to finish up and post the video about the radiant barrier insulation job on the garage door, and then my next one, next project will be the opposite wall, and I'll try to do before and after, and then, you know, do it in steps, and then stop and film so you can see the progress. And yeah, and you know, so that way, if you're interested in seeing that, you'll see it, and it's just easier to film it and turn it into a video than it is to try to go live. I tried to do it live once before, and it just, I didn't think it worked out. I didn't think it was good. I couldn't, if I was paying attention to the live and answering questions, then I wasn't getting any work done. So I think it'll be easier just to shoot it like a video. So that's what I'll be doing. I guess Golden Voice changed their mind, because Golden Voice, I've given you several opportunities to ask your question. Any question, just as long as it's appropriate. Go. RSS 11, hey man, what's up? Let me buy your shop. RS11, if you bought my shop, you'd have to buy my home too. So it's because they're attached. Let's do it, Dave. Let me see. You know, with the price of houses these days, I could probably let this place go for about $750, because that's what it would cost me to replace it, more than likely. It's the cost of living in Central Texas is crazy, and of course, being retired now, if I ever sell this place, I'd have to move. I'd like to, you know, at first, I always, Donna and our goal was, when we retire, we were going to build us a house, and you know, 10 to 20 acres, But also, as I've aged, I've realized, wait a minute, to maintain 10 or 20 acres, that's a lot of work. And I don't have sons to help me, so it's just me. How big is the house? The house is about 2,600 square feet, single story. And it sits on a quarter acre of land. So, yeah, but it's houses are expensive. And two, you know, if you move out to the country, then you have to think about your health care and your doctors. And I mean, there's just on and on and on. So I'm not sure that dream will ever come true. And I don't make enough money to have two properties. I can't imagine trying to maintain two properties. If I was independently wealthy and could, you know, hire everything done, that would be different. But I mean, if you've owned a home, any of you've owned a home, big, small, it doesn't matter. You know, there's always something to fix, and stuff doesn't last forever. And so, you know, if you live in a house, and we've been here, we built it brand new in 2005, moved in early 2006. So the house is 20 years old, and you know, in 20 years, we've had to replace the AC system 2 or 3 times, and you know, now it's Trish. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. I'll check out your channel as soon as we're done here. Appreciate you. So you know, like I said, you know, then after 20 years, you're like, hey. Let's remodel the bathrooms. Well, I don't know if any of you have checked the price on remodeling a bathroom in this day and time, but it is, I mean, a basic bathroom with a toilet, a single tub shower, a single sink. I mean, you know, you could spend, depending on how fancy you wanted to go, but, you know, if you go with anything like you see advertised all the time, it's just you know, they put in a fiberglass shower pan and put up some glass doors and change out your fixtures and stick some man-made stuff on the wall that comes in pieces. And then they want to charge you $20,000 for it, which I just find that's not worth it. RSS11, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll go check out your page. Yeah, so I mean, I just find a lot of that way overpriced. And I guess, you know, knowing how to do some of that myself, when I see what they want to charge and for what kind of material they use, at first, you know, when you see these, oh, we remodeled the bathroom, check it out. It looks really nice, but it doesn't last because it's just not made to stand up over time. And I don't know about any of you, but if I'm going to spend $20,000, you know, I kind of like to have something to show for my money that's going to stay looking good more than 3 or 4 or 5 years. And a lot of that stuff that they put down, it's cheap. And it's hard to find really good craftsmen that do good work and that you can trust. And if you do find one, they charge premium prices. You know, it's hard to find people that do actual tile work in bathrooms anymore. Like when I say tile work, I'm talking about in the wet areas, like a shower or something like that. So I know the last Solar Passive joined. Hey, how's it going? I love solar. I love solar lights. I think if you like lighting around the outside of your house, solar is the way to go. It's cheap. And, you know, these solar lights, I change them out periodically because they do wear out. They don't last forever, but they don't require any electrical. You don't get an electricity bill for running solar lights. They come on when you need them. because most of the time they're motion detection. But you can have some that come on at night, and they're called dawn to dusk. And so when it gets dark, they come on, and when it's light, they go off. And I mean, that's pretty cool if you think about it, especially here in Texas where we have tons and tons of sunlight. You can have outside security light and not have to ever worry about wiring everything. Another slow day at work, might as well hop back in the light. There you go, JW. Always like that. Yeah, so I've got solar lights around the outside of my fence area in the backyard, because we do have coyotes and some wild animals, and so the lights kind of help keep them away a little bit, and because we've got little dogs, and they matter of fact, somebody posted in our area on one of the neighborhood watch pages that there were two, I call them Mexican bald eagle, but they're hawks, pretty good size hawks, and they had one of them had swooped down and picked up I don't know, 6-month-old little Chihuahua dog out of the backyard. And luckily the dog survived because the hawk ended up dropping him. I don't know how high up he was when he dropped the dog, but they apparently these two hawks that have been seen throughout the area, and there's cats missing and little dogs missing, so people are kind of freaked out. But if you have real small dogs in Texas, and depending on where you're at, you really have to kind of keep an eye on them, especially not as much during the day, because coyotes, they're pretty brazen, but a lot of times they try to stay low key during the day where you can't see them. But it gets dark, they're out on the prowl, and they will they'll take cats, little dogs, yeah. And a lot of times they don't attack them for food. They just are mean little sons of guns. And I know a friend of mine that lives a few miles away from here. His house backs up to a golf course. And you're thinking, a golf course? Well, there's no coyotes on the golf course. Well, they are in Texas. A coyote jumped the fence, got his little dog, was running across the fairway on the back nine, and he pulled out his shotgun, shot the coyote, killed him, but the coyote had already killed his dog. So yeah, on a golf course. So yeah, in Texas we have coyotes, and they will get your pet, so you always got to keep a close eye on them there. Shannon Martin just joined. Hey, Phil joined. Hey, what's up? There you go. Always like it when somebody, when you say, hey, Phil, and they go, hey, how's it going? So, yeah. Another slow day at work. I always like the slow days. Usually, though, for me, when it was like a return from a holiday, thanks for the fan club. I appreciate that, Phil. Appreciate that. Always the first day back, I was just hammered with work. And it would take me at least a couple of days to get caught up with all the stuff that happened over the weekend, and especially a 3-day weekend. I mean, it would just be crazy. And then, it would kind of slow down. Usually in the middle of the week, it slowed down. Then on Fridays, when you would want it to be slow so you could get out of there at a decent time, inevitably it was right like an hour before it was time to go home on Friday. Everybody in the world had a problem. Tractor Man 44, hey man, what's up? Hey, if y'all haven't checked out Tractor Man 44 on TikTok, go check him out. He's also on YouTube too, and I believe he's got a lot of great videos. And if you like to see old tools, I want to tell you, this guy's got tools that you probably, he's a retired HVAC guy, and he has tractors, of course, old tractors. And I mean, he's got, here's how unique it is. He was showing how he sharpened a 30, what did he say? It was either 32 or 36-inch blade that he used in a sawmill, an old style sawmill that he ran off of a tractor. So he's got some interesting stuff. And you know, he shows different parts when he's in his shops. And I mean, he's got some of everything, I can tell. But he's got some really old stuff. He was showing actually some old books that were probably collector's items. I bet he didn't have any problem selling those, but I'd never seen them before. But apparently somebody I saw in the comments, somebody jumped on them and do that. But anyway, Tractor Man 44, if you're looking for, he's got some good videos out there. He's on TikTok and I believe he's on YouTube too. Nice guy. Anyway, so if there's, you know, if you're a creator and you come into the live here and Blue Sky, good morning, 5:14 a.m. in California. You're up bright and early. Thank you for coming back to see us. I appreciate that. And MMac 1257, he just joined. Hello, Patriot. I have 2 tickets to Steven's to call. Oh, that's crazy. Mr. Mack, where are you from? Anyway, so I guess that's it for today. It's 7:20. I do have a couple of things. Australia. That'd be a long trip from Texas. Man, thanks for joining us all the way from Australia. I used to have some friends that lived there. They've since, in the last year, they've moved back to Houston. But he worked for I'm trying to think of the name of the company he worked for. It was an oil company that took his wife, and before they even had kids, I think or maybe they had one kid. Now they have 3 or 4. But he ended up spending most of his career in Australia, and I think he got close to retirement or got laid off, or I'm not sure exactly what all happened, but yeah. He's flying to Texas on Thursday to meet Stephen at the convention. Really? So what convention is Steven Seagal going to be at? I guess I'm not aware of that. Sorry. I work for a sourcing agent, so it's pretty slow a lot of the time. So JW, you work for a sourcing agent agency. Explain what are you, like a buyer? What are you sourcing? I guess I've never heard of that. Flight to Dallas direct from Melbourne. Okay. Oh, transport director. Okay. So logistics type stuff, is that? You know, that was funny too, because when I was working for Marriott, one of the things that I convinced them to do when I worked there was to set up a central depository for all the computer equipment, because I mean, they had computer equipment scattered all over North America and Canada, and they were having a real problem keeping up with inventory. It's the King's Martial Arts. Oh, okay. All right. Lockjaw, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining us this morning. Anyway, so what we did is here in Texas, we held all the company's equipment. We did all the imaging, and we shipped out to all of the locations and individuals in North America and Canada. And so we did that on top of the normal IT troubleshooting and that type of stuff, and software upgrades, operating system upgrades. We handled a lot of that. And so what Marriott decided to do is they shut down the entire IT department as it operated and farmed out all the work to Accenture. So the people who are really going to suffer, well, they're going to end up paying a lot more money to have some company do their shipping instead of doing it themselves. And Walter Roberts just joined. Hey, so they're going to spend more money there. They're having to pay somebody to warehouse the equipment now, so that's going to cost them more money. And the end user ends up getting a lower quality of service, but what they're trying to do, or the way it was explained to me, is when they look at a P&L, human capital counts here and expenses count here. So if you can get rid of human capital and move it over to an expense, then money's not an issue when it comes to what the investors look at. And so that was the reasoning behind the reorganization layoff. And so like in now you need to understand that Marriott employs probably 300,000 people. Last year in 2024, they laid off probably 1,000 to 1,500 people about the same time, right around Christmas. And they did the same thing again this year. And they're in a process of continuing that on that same path. I just found out that they are already scheduling the next layoff in June of 2026. So, yeah. So some of the guys that moved around and held a position, they know that it's a lot of them that stayed, that held a position, had to move or were reclassified as temporary, and others have already been told that their positions are being evaluated, and more than likely they'll be laid off in June. So not sure why they're going that direction other than what they told us. So at this point, all I can do is move forward, and so like I said, some of the guys, what part best barbecue in Texas? Wow. Well, there's a lot of barbecue in Texas. Austin has a good barbecue. There's a big barbecue outfit in Elgin, which is just east of Austin on Highway 290. Been there a long time. They got great barbecue. There's my God, there's tons of places in this area for barbecue. Okay. I see. Yeah. So, yeah. And one of the reasons they let me do that is because I had previous experience running an organization where we handled all the freight and shipping and happened to do IT work at the same time. So it's kind of unusual that you have somebody that's familiar with how freight moves and carriers and understands how freight carriers charge. And so I would negotiate contracts. We had a contract with FedEx and some different independent freight carriers too. So a favorite sign behind you. Quackers. So are you at Quackers? Are you asking me what is my favorite sign behind me? Well, I've got two that are, yeah, my bad. Yeah, no problem. So one is the right above the garage sign, that license plate looking one that says member Texas Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association. So that was given to me by Cow Cop, who frequently joins the live. He is a peace officer for them. And that organization's been around since the 1800s. They were developed to protect all the cattlemen in Texas who were driving their cattle to market. And so they protected all the rustlers. Currently, that organization is supported by an association of, I don't know, 30 or 40,000 members. So they don't draw any state funds or federal funds. They're backed up by the Texas DPS. They hold they're able to apply the law in 2 states. One of the only state law enforcement officers that can do that. They have jurisdiction in the state of Texas and Oklahoma. So there's a lot of history behind that. And you can't buy that. Somebody gave that to me. So that's probably one. The other one on this side, right above the little roaster, the Texas TikTok Live, I bought that, or I didn't buy it. It was given to me by a TikTok vendor, and I asked him. I was like, "Hey man, can you put TikTok Live on there?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll put whatever you want on there." So that was given to me, and they do all kinds of license plates like that. But I mean, that looks like it's quality. It's not thin. It's like a regular Texas license plate. It's just got different info stamped on it. So yeah. And then the last one that I would say I really like is the cross right there with the American flag. That's definitely one of my favorite ones too. But I have all kind, some of those my granddaughters bought. Some of them, like I said, were given to me. So yeah, I mean, this idea with all the signs back there, I can't take credit for it. It was definitely my granddaughters thought it would be fun to decorate something like that. So, and it kind of started off small, and then I'll turn the camera again. You can see it goes all the way over there. I got a couple LED signs. And then I have a few vendors that are sending me new signs now. They just haven't gotten here. And this wall is pretty full, but I have a wall I kind of built that gives me a little privacy when the garage doors open. And I specifically built that, one, for privacy, but two, I'm gonna put some signs on it. So. Yeah, I have one on the other side of that wall. That's kind of where I started. I had to let my wife use that wall during Christmas to hang some Christmas decorations and stuff on, but she knows it's going to be signs. And really, I wanted to do that, one, because like I said, it provides some privacy when I have the garage door open. But I'm gonna put some signs out there so people can see it, because I've had matter of fact, during Halloween, we had the garage door open, and we're out giving out candy, and I had several people want to make comments about the signs on the wall and that stuff. So yeah. So I've been, like I said, I've been doing social media a long time, and I always wanted to have a unique backdrop, and of course I never knew that it was going to turn into this, but yeah, it has, and I like it, and it's I'm fortunate to have had some of those signs given to me, and others purchased for me. So there's a few up there that I purchased myself, but for the most part, either vendors gave them to me, or my granddaughters, my wife, friends, different things where I've gathered them. So yeah, but thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for the follow too. I'll go check you out. Are you a UGC creator? Your tool videos. What, Tractor Man, what do you mean by UGC creator? Sorry, I just didn't understand what your UGC creator. Oh, user generated content. Yeah, I'd say I am. Most of the tools that I review because it's something that I would use, and I get offered a lot of tools to review, and I try not to take any tools that I won't use myself. I have given some away, but yeah, if that's what you're talking about, yes. I usually demo them with me using them, kind of showing you what I use them for. I've got different projects, and I hate to like I had to do a video on this last week on a vendor on TikTok because I felt like the guy was being misleading. Well, I didn't feel like the guy was being misleading, the company. And so I brought that to light. And of course I had somebody want to argue the point with me, but they were wrong. But yeah, when somebody pictures a case with a whole set of wrenches, and then they send you one wrench that's a 10 millimeter wrench, and I'm like, what? And then I go, here, I'll show you. Where's that wrench at? Well, that's pretty good. I don't know. Oh, here it is. Sometimes when you organize stuff, it's, anyway, they sent this little 10 millimeter open end ratchet flex head, and there's nothing wrong with the quality of this wrench at all, but the vendor was advertising it as a set of 12, and then you got this if you placed an order for one. And I saw where multiple people had commented in the vendor's reviews that they felt like they'd been ripped off and misled to what they were purchasing. And so I reached out to the company and gave them every opportunity because I thought it was a mistake or something, and they never responded. And so after 2 weeks, I wanted to make a video because, TikTok says, hey, you accepted this, and the deal is you make a video and you have a certain number of days to do it. So I made a video, but it wasn't probably the one they wanted to to talk about. And you know, when I do reviews on tools, I hate to get something and do a bad review. So of course I'm always looking for what's the good thing. But you know, I did a review recently on a third-party battery that fit Milwaukee tools. And you know, when I was doing the review and for what time I'd used it, it seemed to be fine. No issues, plenty of power. First time I got it, I charged it on the charger. It was fine. And then when it was time to charge it again, it wouldn't charge. And so I was like, well, is it my charger? I checked. I did several different troubleshooting things. And bottom line is the battery was defective. And it wasn't ever going to charge again. And so I didn't do a video on it. I just recycled the battery, but I'm not sure. I mean, they've reached out to me a couple of times wanting me to promote some other batteries for them, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that because I don't have the confidence that what they're pushing is are very good quality. And you know, that was the other thing that I thought was funny is looking at this wrench, and I just noticed it that I don't know if this wrench was used at one point, but the finish around the ratchet is chipped and coming off. So yeah, anyway, there you go. That's what I found out there. But for the most part, stuff I get from TikTok is not bad. Some of it's really good. Sometimes I'm really surprised about the quality of the stuff I get from them. There he is. Hey, Chris, thanks for stopping by. So somebody was asking about the signs, and I pointed out your the license plate sign that you gave me. So yeah. Was it okay? There are ways to generate content or yeah, and not by views. Okay, so most of the ones that I do, they just basically give you the product for free, and you get to keep it, and that's your form of payment. Yes, there are some out there that will pay you money. I just, for some reason, I hadn't really run across anybody that I want to do that with yet. I am working on a deal with, hang on, let me show you. I'm working on a deal with this company here, FilterBuy. They're out of Talladega, Alabama, I believe. And I personally use these AC filters in my home and have for a while. And like I said, they're made in the USA. They create USA jobs, and they're on TikTok. And so I had to go through some info, and just yesterday late, got a response back that I was approved to become an affiliate for them. I haven't read all the details just yet, but you know, as an affiliate, I don't have to hold any product. I can just promote their product. Hey ML, thanks for following. I'll check you out after the live. So after some other stuff going on there with them, I definitely will be promoting those. And, you know, a lot of people don't think about air conditioner filters this time of year, even though they are running their, if they have central heat, they would be running possibly that. So you still do need to change your filters monthly. And it makes a big difference in all kinds of stuff, allergens in the house, dust, and, you know, mainly it protects probably the most expensive piece of equipment you have in your home, which is your central AC and heat. So yeah, so I'm working out a deal with them. attracted me. It's like I was telling people earlier, I said, I really would like to find somebody who maybe would sponsor the show. And, I'm open to whatever different, there's different ways to get people to sponsor shows. Some of them will pay you money. Others will give you products to give away. Of course, there's the affiliate thing where you get commission if anybody, purchases it. There's lots of different things, but, it's something that I'm learning. I mean, this is not what I intended to do until I retired, but I made a choice that this has always been my side gig, and I've had times where I could spend more time doing it than others, but I'm trying to give it some full-time attention for the next 6 months or so, and see if I can grow it to a viable a business. I don't have to make $100,000 a year, but if I can make a few thousand a year along with my retirement stuff, well, then that would keep me working on this, and this would become my quote job, I guess. And if not, one of the things I've learned about going into retirement, and I kind of knew this already, is your health insurance, man. It's a big deal when you work. Now, if you work for a small independent company, your health insurance benefits might not be outstanding. But I worked for a big corporation, and they had very good benefits, health insurance, dental, you name it, they had it. And I mean, we paid for it, but it was very reasonably priced. And so when all that goes away, luckily, I mean, some of the guys that got let go, the majority of them are young or younger, and they can't fall back and file for Medicare. Luckily, I'm old enough I can do that. And the whole Medicare system is it's crazy. There's parts of it that are easy to understand, and then other parts of it are so vague, and you're trying to, it's really kind of like, I kind of do it like gambling. If you're relatively healthy and don't have any major health concern, then Medicare and an Advantage plan is probably the way to go. But if you maybe are not as healthy as you should be, or have some medical conditions, then you might be better off to go with Medicare and a Medigap plan, and then a drug plan, and this, that, and the other, because the Medigap plans cover all the deductibles under Medicare. And, people think the coinsurance and deductibles in Medicare could bankrupt you. If something happened to you bad, you could be bankrupted medically that quick. And so you have to think about that. And, if anybody, though there's nobody in the government listening, but, when you work, and if you have, depending on what type of insurance you have, you could have an HSA where you could put money aside. It's tax deferred. You can spend it tax free. But guess what? When you stop working, you lose all of that. You cannot contribute to a Roth. You can have an individual IRA if you've got some type of income, and it can't be Social Security or a pension. They don't count that. So you actually have to be working. And so, they don't set up anything for people who want to be responsible and try to take care of themselves. But at the same time, you don't want to get bankrupted medically. And that's the biggest thing about people retiring. You wonder why people are working into their mid and late 70s and even 80s, some people, if they haven't planned properly. Yeah, it's a lot to navigate and try to make decisions. And if you make the wrong decision, sometimes there's no do-overs. You're stuck like Chuck. And if you go into the hospital and you have a co-insurance of 20% and you have a $300,000 or $400,000 medical bill, your 20% is a pretty good chunk of change. Yeah, there's lots of things to do. Let's see here. What is this? Barbecue is barbecue. The more fat content in the meat, the better it is. Don't pick clean cuts for barbecue. Okay, yeah, there you go. And then Blue Sky says, cowboy hat. I have a couple of cowboy hats. And I keep telling everybody I'm gonna put one on during a live and let you see. But here's what my wife tells me about cowboy hats, and that's why I wear a cap all the time. She said I have a big watermelon head, and cowboy hats look stupid on me. So she gave me, a complex. And so rarely will you see me wear a cowboy hat, even though I have a couple of them and I do wear them from time to time. She doesn't like it and she says it looks stupid. So there you go. Hey, Lloyd. Yeah, good luck. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Glad you're enjoying it. Yeah. And so, so those are some things that I'm kind of dealing with is trying to decide. I'm covered with medical insurance through my previous employer till my severance package runs out in April the 24th or 25th. And so at that point, I'm trying to time it where the Medicare insurance will take over. What I've learned, and which I kind of already knew this too, they talk about when you retire that, you want to retire to something. You want to go sit on the couch because that's not good for you. But, probably they always talk about, do you have enough money to retire? Can you afford to retire? Well, I can tell you that one of the things that, and I've kind of known this, but it really kind of comes home to roost when it's, finally here, is that the number one thing that you can do for yourself, other than, financially be able to keep a roof over your head, is take care of your health. Because, without health, retirement, and any and all of that other stuff doesn't really matter. If you don't take care of yourself, and you retire, and I've seen this in multiple instances where somebody, while they were working and they didn't take care of themselves. And so, they retire, and within a year or two, they continue to not take care of themselves and sit on the couch a lot and don't exercise, don't eat right, and, have a stroke or have a heart attack or just drop dead. All of those things, friends in the past have happened. And so in retirement, one of the things that I think that you really should work towards is better health. And a lot of times when we're working and, some of us work 40, 50, 60-hour weeks, just depending on what you do, your health always seems to take a back seat because there's just not enough time in the day a lot of times for you to set aside time for yourself. Doing something as simple as, just going on a walk. I mean, if y'all saw last year, Ed for a whole year did take a walk, take a picture. Well, at the end of the year, he was down 30. He said only 30 pounds. He looked like to me he was down more than 30 pounds, but he claimed either 27 or 30 pounds. But just imagine that. You're just going on a walk every day. Now, some days he walked farther than others, but he completed that task, which I thought was great. And I mean, just look at him. He just looks healthy. I mean, he's still working but that's all he was doing was walking. And so, you know, we can all stand to get out and do a little walk, be out in the fresh air. And, you know, your health is really important. And as you age, your health is more important, because if you're not healthy, what difference does it make? If you're sick and bedridden, I mean, doesn't bode well for you. What's Tractor Man 44 say? And I don't know exactly how old Tractor Man 44 is. I'm just guessing that he's a little bit older than I am, but he's pretty active. I've always worked in the woods or in a shop. On my off hours, retirement removed the restrictions. I see that, and I agree with you, Tractor Man. I'm trying to. I mean, I've gotten just in a couple of weeks, I've got lots of things that I'd been, just little things. You know, I keep, you know, things that you put off a lot of times. You're like, hey, I think I'm going to clean out my closet and reorganize that. And I know that sounds really petty, and you should be able to do that. But, you know, when you're working day and night, night and day, you just don't have time to do that, or it just doesn't take precedence in the things that you do. And so I have a whole list of things that I want to do. I just haven't gotten to them. And so now I'm beginning to see why people who are retired say they don't know how they ever had time to work, because they're busy. I know when my dad was alive, he told me that all the time. He said, "Mom, I'm just swamped busy." And he was constantly involved in different things. But I think when you retire, maybe it's you get to have time to be involved in stuff that you're interested in, instead of having to work for a paycheck. And so that's a little different there. But, you know, if you can get all the other stuff worked out, being retired, probably not a bad gig at all. I see Tractor Man, and he's, you know, he's got shops, and he's out sharpening these huge saw blades and chopping wood. And I was like, yeah. And that's me. I don't want to just sit around. I watch very little TV, very little. And somebody told me, don't watch TV for a whole year. I could easily not do that. Now, of course, I'm on social media. And so I'm doing that part of it. But yeah, other than that, I've met a lot of great people. I continue to meet new people. YouTube people keep coming in, and that part's growing. I've been in, you know, I always say that, you know, that initial shock when you get told that you're out of here, and especially after you work somewhere a real long time, it kind of makes you feel like they didn't appreciate all the work you did. But really what it all boils down to is big corporations, you're just a number. So work as hard as you need to get your job done. And but sometimes, you know, don't work so hard that you're taken away from your family. I did that when I was younger, and I regret that. Family first, but you do got to make a living. I understand that too. But your kids are little once, and don't put your job in front of your kids, because you can't get those days back. How about that? Tractor Man, I'm telling you, y'all got to go check out his videos. Tractor Man says he's fixed to be 75 in a few months. And I can remember my dad worked at a job until he was 75. And he lived another 10 or 11 years after that. But even those 10 or 11 years, he was busy. You know, he helped remodel church. And I mean, he was involved in everything right up until he was diagnosed with lung cancer. And so he stayed busy. And Tractor Man, you look good for 75, buddy. So you keep it up. Anyway, so that's the show for today. It's fixed to be 8 o'clock. I am going to go meet one of my old bosses here at 8:30, and we're going to have coffee and breakfast taco. How about that? And I think he needs my help. But that's okay. I didn't get to see him before our last day at work because he's, lives 2 hours from the office, but he's driving in this morning and asked me to come meet him for breakfast and a cup of coffee. So definitely going to go do that. We worked together 16, 17 years, and so we're not just know each other from work, we become friends too. So that's always good. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do today. But I'll be back here tomorrow at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Go do something kind today. Follow each other. Cal Cop's got a great TikTok site. If you're not following him, make sure you follow him. Follow Tractor Man. We got some new people coming in and following and joining the live, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Yeah, Tractor Man says he retired at 61, and I understand because I want to tell you, AC work is demanding. And so I never owned my own AC company, but I worked for AC company for a year and a half. And I want to tell you, it's physical. I mean, when you're, especially, I'm sure it's physical everywhere. In Texas, where it's 100 plus degrees and 50 or 60% humidity, and you're in somebody's attic running new duct work or working on, their AC system, which I wish they didn't, builders didn't put the AC systems in the attic. I get why they do it, but it makes it really difficult to work on in the summertime. And that's usually when they bite the bullet. But it's very physical work. Not all of it, but the majority of it. So, and I think Tractor Man, I believe, was self-employed. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. For some reason, I thought he said he was had his own business. And I can tell you, if you have your own business, you don't have any days off. You work 7 days a week. And vacations, that's funny. Because when you work for yourself, if you don't work, you don't eat, period. That's how it works. So everybody thinks being a business owner is great and peaches and cream. That's not true. I know because I was in business for myself for 12 years, and I can tell you I worked 6-7 days a week. So yeah. Commercial service for a union shop. Oh, okay. Okay. So a commercial service, and commercial AC, dude, they're up on in a building when I worked for Marriott in Austin. We had a 100,000 square foot building there, and it had the flat roof on it with all the AC units. And they spent nearly $1 million replacing all the AC system in that building before they sold it. And I got to see a lot of that commercial AC work go on. And man, it's there you go. I mean, they had to bring in cranes to lift that equipment up on the roof. And yeah, there's a lot to it. Commercial AC is pretty dang demanding too, and it's like you're working outside in the heat and the cold and all of that. So anyway, okay, guys, it's 8:02. I got to go. Everybody have a wonderful day. Go do something kind today. You never know how your one act of kindness could make a difference. And I'll be back here at 6 a.m. tomorrow for morning coffee talk. Thank you very much for joining and following and all of that fun stuff, because without all of you, I wouldn't be doing this. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll be back tomorrow.